Hi Virgos, and welcome to your weekly reading, weekly Taroscope. As I don't know if you check my little update, you are one of the selected signs that are going to get much more upgraded weekly readings, and this is my thank you for your sign actually really supporting my channel with your subscriptions, likes and views and shares. So I really hope you continue. So yeah, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And please share and like this video. And basically how these weeklies work is like the sign that actually does the highest of all is getting their basically Taroscope before the others, and everybody else is getting like in the order of how much they help and contribute, because this has to be kind of two-way street. And you were very supportive. You're number 2, but you were really steady and strong all along. So if anything, you now have a really good chance to be number 1 and to beat Aries. I just finished their Taroscope for a week, and it is right now just turned midnight on Valentine's Day, and theirs is going to be uploaded in a few minutes, and then yours is going to be uploaded. So basically, usually schedule is Wednesday, some late in the evening, so it will be 15 in the evening, so you're going to get it before. And not only that, you're not going to get regular 5 cards. As you're seeing, it's way more than 5 cards, and you're going to get special goodies. So there is some kind of incentive, so please help me to grow the channel. Anyway, enough cat, let's keep on doing. So Virgo, what is happening this week? Let me actually just check what happened to you last week to see what I have in my notes and what I actually remember. I think you had some homework that basically was given to you, but I just right now off the top of my head cannot remember. So while I'm looking for it, I want you to take a look into what are your base cards. And you have a floating cat, and you have Ace of Fire. Floating cat being a major arcana, and you have 3 major arcanas in this reading: floating cat, cat magic, and the Emperor. Floating cat basically means that you have to be playful, and that you have to try to see how things work and look from a different perspective, and kind of like to apply this with passion, not to kind of like make it dreadful, to kind of like, oh gosh, I really don't like it. Look at this kitty is really enjoying herself. So what did you have last week, Virgo? You had unshakable willpower. Okay, so let's see how this week continues with this. So last week you had, whoa, the same rune of self-interest. Wow, really interesting. So I didn't even check what you had last week before this reading, so I'm even more excited right now to kind of like dig in and to see what's happening. So what you basically have as a base, as I said, you have this kind of ability to look around and to kind of see if things can be seen from a different angle, and how do they look, and is this fun, is this scary, is this normal. It simply is going to give you a different experience, right? But you're going to do it with passion. So going back to the base over here is 8 of Earth. And being Virgo, you like earthy stuff, and like what is like gorgeous picture of a kitty cat taking her kittens to the first basically teaching expedition. So basically you're grounded. Number 8 is being grounded, like 2 basically 4s make 8, so it's a double foundation, and you're willing to take a next step, which is basically teaching and training, and like you're really down to earth. But like looks like that basically it is crossed with a Fire King, which basically is counterpart, like yin and yang. So somebody who can add to it, like either you want to get to this exploration, let's say translate it as the human terms, to that exploration, you want to undertake that, and you want to make it sure it is kind of well accomplished. So whatever you're doing, if it is at work that you want to create some training material, and that you have a project that has to kind of serve to the others, you really want to add a little bit of passion in it, because you want to put lots of energy in what you are doing over here. If the same thing goes, if this is a love affair, then you know what, like, I mean, you'll have to train your partner kind of to do your stuff. I have a girlfriend, like, I mean, back then, so it just goes to show how I'm not really bright, but back then she was studying medicine, and she would say, oh, I don't know how to put this button back, oh, I don't know this, I don't know this. So her hobby was all the time, like, making kind of comments how she's not very bright, etc. Anyway, years later, he's sewing, he's cooking, he's ironing, he's washing the dishes, so I really don't know who is not smart there. So, let's go further. The base of the problem here is 5 of fire. Oh, by the way, you have lots of fire. You're earth sign, but look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like half of the reading is fire, 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 fire. So it's going to be a fiery week. And fire tortures earth. So watch out. This kind of could be dangerous energy for you, but you know what? For 1 week, feel free to live dangerously. So what is 5 of fire? Basically, this is showing the kittens their best. This is again following that learning. Obviously, there is something in your mind that you really are interested into, kind of that tiger spirit coming through you. Like, I mean, right? You want to kind of tumble, you want to try this upside down. Like, I mean, this card's also connected, kind of like you're trying different things, and you're not really afraid of being a little bit rough. Because that kind of gives us new boundaries, gives us new exploration, and however, like, I mean, when it's kind of this way, it can show a poor sportsmanship, somebody in the situation, or maybe this is the fear that you have, that somebody is here rather out for blood than competing toward common goals. So, if you're needing to deal with conflicts and disputes, that's better to do, like, I mean, because it's going to be much easier to make a progress. But, like, I mean, what is basically happening this week and lesson, and basically the ultimate goal of this week would be major, arcana, and it's cat magic. So, tarot basically is based on the story of a fool, of a person without any prejudice, who is just basically traveling the world and meeting the world. So it's basically a child getting these new experiences in life, and this will be the first step, coming to a magician and basically seeing what is possible. So this is somebody kind of like creating the world. This is somebody who is basically saying, I can do anything. Look at all these tools you can use. You can use water, you can use air, you can use, like, I mean, the earth. Like, this is everything is possible. But this is just sort of introduction. Like when you come to the university course, right? And you just kind of get the intro, and you yet did not get what basically is coming to you, and you're kind of like really interested in basically how this would look like. So this is something from the past over here, which kind of I like as a card, which kind of, it's not the traditional boat that you're getting over the waters. This is, to me, so much better. Obviously you have experienced some kind of trouble, and I'm so fed up. Look, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm not fighting anymore. But you know what? You got this card this way, which, in the other deck would mean you did not cross it. You are still unsafe. But here is basically saying that, you might having some kind of regrets about unfinished business, or, that you left others in a lurch, like kind of like you kind of took care of yourself, because last week you got that selfish kind of thing, and you Virgos are very conscientious, and kind of like you probably feel a little bit kind of remorse about it. But I would really advise you on this one to meditate and to see how much of that is really guilt and how much of that is really truth. And was it necessary to take care of yourself? Because if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody else. So you have to understand that, that guilt doesn't serve anyone, and you have to let others also fight their own battles, because that makes them stronger. So talking about battles could be that, somehow you're still entangled into some kind of disputes, or like, either you want to do things your way, because this is like the outcome of this week. If there is like no other premise, which we're going to see what else you can add to kind of influence this, an outcome of this week will be basically sort of like bullying. Look at this little Sphinx kitty. It's like poor hairless kitty that is like so unlike the other kitties, like, and it's being bullied. Well, of course, the Sphinx kitty is going to find a new home. But are you the Sphinx kitty that you're being bullied? Or are you this kitty's bullying the Sphinx kitty? Which one are you? Because you did have the little bit of arguments and guilt coming from before. So you know which side you represent. If you are the Sphinx kitty, it basically says, this is a danger, and maybe it's the best for you right now to look for shelter and look for better times to get through this territory of Sky Clan. If you're the bully kitty, bad kitty, then I would really think back to, are you using your magic? Are you using your special things? Are you using this to look at from a different perspective? Are you using your passion productively? Like, ask yourself those questions to see if you can move on, and later we are going to see if the rune clarifies this further. Now you're coming to the spot of, who you are, how you see yourself. Right now you're comfy. You're really comfy. You are in a good spot. It's the Earth basically card, just like this Eight of Earth. So this is a little bit further, but this is also a card of completion. Right now you feel full and you feel complete. That's a really nice feeling. But you know what happens after that? You're getting to the next stage. So just beware of that this is not going to last, but also at the same time, enjoy it while you can. Then we are moving into basically the next stage, your current kind of feelings, and what is going to happen. And now we have Seven of Fire, Sevens are unstable energy, really. And, fire, is again not the element that is kind of like something you favor. And especially you see the kitty cat that kind of is kind of in a certain advantage. And because with cats, like, they're always challenging each other's territories, right? And sometimes it's like really just like physical abilities, like their prowess, or with the personal power, which one is going to make itself puffier and bigger. So, when a cat faces opponents that they want to chase him out of his rightful place, he's fending off with a very, very fiery kind of approach of strength and courage. And he's not letting anybody else. So then you get your kitty coming home with a broken ear, etc., etc. So what is this card here saying? This card is saying that even though the odds may seem to be against you, you're still in a position of power, as long as the cause is just. So others might challenge you. So these are your feelings, that just others may challenge you, and they might test your commitment and why you chose certain things, why you did certain things. So here the advice would be to stay true to your ideals. So this is in your emotion, and we are going to see further why is this falling into this. So now, again, this is earthy. 4 is Emperor, it's the King, it's control. It's like you have to learn to be in control, and it looks like you are doing it. You are testing your new boundaries. You are kind of protecting your turf, You decide when is the time not to fight anymore. So these are two sides of past and the future. In the past it was fighting, and now you're still having some leftovers. But now you're getting to, you know what? I think I've been through it. I've been through fighting. I've been through winning. I've been through losing. And right now, I actually get it. I have these tools. That was the lesson for this week. And I want to learn them all. And then I'm going to rule the world. So basically, this is the thing. If you have to go through, you have to obtain this control. And control was suggested over here as well. Control was over here. Both kitties have to control themselves, either through, you know, like, I mean, not attacking, or through knowing where to retreat, you know, and here, not to get too rough, here also know where to go, and here also know how to land. So I think there is lots of control happening, and control of the tools that you have in your arsenal, because if you kind of abuse your tools, you can actually be bad, because every good has bad. So ultimately, the ending of the week ends up with some kind of decision, or rather to say indecision. You're standing in between these two worlds. Again, it's a fire, and these are two worlds of yours. So this is something familiar inside and warmth, and this is something not familiar, but it's something that is so alluring. So since this also came with kind of like rune of, you know, self basically control, that you have to take care of yourself, basically it's saying that, you know, think through it and make this decision yourself. So let's see what other runes you got into this whole reading. Yes, okay, sorry, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm really trying to record it for you so you have it on time, because you were so good to me, so I had to just stop for a moment to yawn. But let's continue, since I was already talking about the rune of Algiz, which is the rune of self-interest, and it kind of like came here with kind of like decision-making thing. This is basically saying, you know, that you need to let yourself be powerful magic, and, you know, indicates time to dedicate time to yourself, which kind of like you had it over here. That was this lesson to know when to call it off, when to feel guilty, when to not to feel guilty. And again, it talks like the same week, like, I mean, take a hobby, which maybe you did, expand your horizons, you know, like, I mean, add depth to your knowledge, and, you know, like, I mean, you are going to have resolve to carry through wherever you need to carry through, and that's pretty much all there is. So then we have, like, I mean, the rune of boundaries over here, which is interesting, because obviously this kitty cat is basically establishing boundaries, and this is in your feelings segment. However, the rune is inverted, and the rune does say know and where you must stop. In inverted, meaning it kind of like can indicate danger, and it's kind of like emphasized because, or it's supposed to be greater than this way, but at least it's going to be obvious. Like, enemies are going to seem more malicious and determined, as you can say. They will for some reason look for their turf, and I don't know, maybe that has to do with something that you're working, maybe this is a work project, or you have an eye on somebody, and somebody's going to really try to like pull your eyes out. So, but you know, the greater danger means that you have a greater like risk of loss. And the only thing I would say here, instead of like immediately fighting back and defending your turf or defending why you feel a certain way, is you should first have to run it through your own filter. How much are you to blame for the situation? Did you have any kind of rash decisions? You know, if so, stop immediately. I would say stop immediately, because kind of like this is asking you to go deep inside and kind of like be really cautious about how you proceed. And then I have one more rune of danger. We have Issa over here. And again, I clarified another bad card, and I wanted to see really what it means. Because here I was not sure which one are you. So that's why I was clarifying this one. And this kind of like warns of misstep in the injury, right? So just like the card was basically saying, and this is obviously not a joke, you're going to always get a precise answer. So guys, if you need to get your private reading, like, you're going to get something that is just talking to you, not to all these shared basically Virgos that are Virgos on my channel. But here it might say that social, you know, relationships or business relationships can go through kind of cold phase, that, you know, that these high expectations will come to nothing, even though you're going to prepare like, I mean, amazing presentation. But just like fret not, that's only a phase. It only means, you know, like, I mean, it could be somebody from the past that is now deciding to be stubborn and create this emotional turmoil for you. And, you know, if you're just hasty, it's going to bring just like more frustration, and or you might even lose your footing or slip one, who knows. So always saying, it's warning you here. So what now? You're going to also get the other goodies that they promised. And what they did, I already pulled your love card, and it says playfulness. It says, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And it kind of was so appropriate, because here is telling you to be playful, here is telling you to be playful, but then you forgot to be playful somewhere along the way. Maybe here you're playful inside of yourself, but then the new phase is starting, and it's like seem to be kind of ridden with arguing and fights. So it is kind of like saying to you, go back to be playful and just kind of like absorb these energies. And then another thing that also you're getting as a special bonus, in addition to this like elaborate card reading, is like the love spell card. And what basically was drawn was like Venus, divine love. And these cards have like a magic incantation. And I'm going to read it to you, because here on the bottom it says planetary energy guidance to release all patterns, which seems to be like really also relating to the readings. Like, if you have that shadow part in you which kind of wants to argue and fight, you have to figure out what is the other way that you can use the magic on it, how you can maybe approach it with humor, because humor is such a powerful dissolver. You can say the worst possible thing if you preface it with humor. If you don't believe me, just watch this like night shows, and you're going to see it for yourself. So magical incantation for this one is, I call upon the energy of Venus to show me my path to divine love. I open my heart to receive her brilliance. So what this is basically saying is, of course, saying to release all patterns. And don't confuse this with sexual relationship just because it's a Venus, and don't confuse it just with love. This is divine love. And this is, maybe you've been in a relationship that you became a third party, and maybe you had some kind of unrequited love, or love and leave them kind of scenarios over here. So what it's saying is like that the truth is that you have closed your heart, and maybe this is why you're kind of functioning on a level and you are feeling coziness, but we didn't have cups in this reading. And this is kind of interesting, that playfulness and this came kind of like together, because relationships usually act as a mirror, and they're reflecting back to us our state of being, and this is the perfect opportunity for you to begin your healing inside. And these incantations that I have given you, I'm going to write it in the description, so please just repeat it to yourself as often as you possible. And that can kind of like soothe whatever and dissolve the negative energy inside of you. I have also posted a green tarot meditation, which is also dissolving negative energy, so I kind of use that as well as a soothing background. So this is also saying, go back and take responsibility for your actions, just like the runes were like, echoing with over there. And when you start doing that, your relationships are going to take completely a new meaning. And this is basically also a reminder that love actually never leaves us. And when we see that we are never going to see it again, it just shows up. It's brilliance. It's like the sun. It can hide behind the clouds, but it's really there. And this is going to come back into your heart. You just have to allow your heart to open the door, and the rest is going to be easy. So Virgo, thank you again very much for helping and supporting my channel. I really hope I can appreciate this back with returning more. So next week is a new kind of like contest, who is going to have the most shares, likes, and subscribes. And so to see how elaborate reading you can get next week, please help me to help you back. Thanks again, and you still have one more day to enter for Valentine's Day contest, so please do so. It will be just pretty much like that, elaborate reading, really customized to you. And lastly, if you really want to get your own reading, I have 20 and 40 slots available, so please contact me, and my information is also in the description. Thank you very much. Love. Just one more thing, since you did draw playfulness over here, I just really wanted to kind of accompany that with a video commentary, and to cheer you up and just kind of put you in a mood where you probably should be, and how you should kind of like feel lighter energy than what you have. So thanks, Virgo, and I'll talk to you next week.